Before I can go any further with casting shadows, I need to review some perspective. So this video is about perspective methods you don't know. And why do I say that? Because it's from a book written in 1739, which you can get on archive.org. And the diagrams are from this book, but the explanations are mine. And it's in my book, Ellen's Guide to Perspective, on Amazon. I have a whole channel on perspective called youtube.com/understanding-perspective. And these are the first 15 videos. So maybe you would like to take a look at them. Here's a nifty way to draw this shape in perspective. So identify the major points and draw horizontal and vertical lines from each one of those points. You then have the traces on the x-axis and traces on the y-axis that are characteristic of that shape. Put the x-axis here and have those lines converge toward this vanishing point. Put the y-axis over here and have those lines converge toward this vanishing point. And then you start finding points. So what is point 1? It's above number 1 on the x-axis, and it is in line with 1 and 4 on the y-axis. So here in the perspective, we have 1 on the x-axis and 1 and 4 on the y-axis, giving us this point in this perspective view. This shape is a little different because it's not touching the measuring line. So we want to get x and y coordinates for each point. So for this point here, the x coordinate is vertically down, so it would be this dot here. Since the y-axis is perpendicular to the x-axis, we use this dot as the center of a circle, and we draw a little quarter circle, and that green dot is the y coordinate for this particular point. Now, if we want to find the x and y coordinates for this point, the x coordinate would be vertically down here, and the y coordinate would be all the way over here, that green dot. So these are the traces, and I made the x coordinates in red and the y coordinates in green. And I put the traces over here. And the red ones go to this vanishing point, and the green ones go to this vanishing point. You could, of course, switch these, in which case the shape would angle in a different direction. Now let's see if this works. Let's try to find this point up here. So it's in the middle of the red dots. So it would be this dot here going to this vanishing point. And its y-coordinate is the last of the green dots. So that would be this one over here that converges over here. And that gives us this point right here. In this example, I'm going to use these converging lines to foreshorten the shape. So this pink shape is actually the plan. It's not part of the final form. So we can take points on it, like point 1, go over to the converging line, number 2, up to the top of the converging line, 3, to get this point 4, which is vertically above the one we started with. And similarly, we can get this point by going from here to the converging lines up and then back. Now in the second case, we don't have a plan view, but it's the same idea where we can start with number 5 here, go to 6, 7, and then that will give us number 8. In this case again, we start in the plan view and we find the traces on the x-axis and the traces on the y-axis for this particular shape. Now for the x-axis, this time the points converge toward the center of vision. For the y-axis, we take this vertical measuring line and put it down here as a horizontal measuring line, have all those points converge toward this vanishing point. And at the end of the line here, find the foreshortened version of that measuring line and put it over here. So the way it works is that we can find this point on plan, which is next to 4 on the vertical measuring line, and it follows this line up to the x-axis. This line converges toward the center of vision, and we know to stop here because this is number 4 on the foreshortened measuring line. In this diagram, I have a plan view and a right side view. And you have to think of these views as being three-dimensional. So for the top view, we see the left and the right. We see the back and the front, but we don't see the top and the bottom. So this point is the top left back point and the bottom left back point. I know it's confusing, but I made the top ones the red ones and the bottom ones the blue ones. Now over here on the right side view, we see the front and the back and the top and the bottom, but we don't see the left and right. So this dot over here is the top left back and the top right back. Now, draw lines in each case to the eye so it crosses over the picture plane here. And in the same way here, we draw lines to the eye through the picture plane here. And then we have the traces on this plane and we have the traces on this plane. And we put the traces on plan here and the traces from the side view up here. So if we want to find the top left back corner here, it goes through number 2. And if we want the top left back over here, it goes through number 8. So the top left back is this point, and it connects to number 2 on the plan and number 8 on the side view. And you keep on doing that, and then you can draw the box in perspective using these 2 views. So check out my book, Ellen's Guide to Perspective, on Amazon. And please remember to subscribe. It helps my channel.